Today is our fourth and final week of our element yoga, and this week we have the water element. So the water element tends to be a lot about like emotion, even just thinking about the ocean, right? Like how like the waves sometimes are calm and relaxed, and sometimes they're big and overpowering. I think a lot of times that can mimic how our emotions are, depending on what's going on in our life, or something really horrible happens or something really great happens. Our emotions tend to go just like the water, and if we learn to ride that wave, which hopefully like yoga and meditation and mindfulness can help us do, then we have a much more enriched life. So today we're just going to be working with some of those elements. A lot of our emotional energy is actually stored in our hips, or which is our sacral chakra. So we're going to be working a lot with some of our hips, and we'll just do some very fluid movements to kind of mimic maybe some of those waves, some of the slow waves and maybe some of the larger waves. So I invite you to just take a comfortable seat to start. Maybe sitting crisscrossed, maybe on your knees, whatever feels most comfortable to you. And just begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Just noticing the inhales and the exhales as they come naturally to you. Not trying to do anything special. And as we're checking in with our breath, begin to check in with your energy, maybe your emotional energy. How are you feeling today? Maybe you're doing this practice in the beginning of the day, maybe you're doing it at the end. Just notice what emotions are coming up. Just as we're sitting, begin to straighten your back, but instead of trying to straighten it from the top down, just elevate your lower back just a little bit. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and then bring them back down your back. And tuck your chin just a little bit further down. Notice how your breath changes as our spine is more aligned. Are you finding it easier to breathe? Are any of the emotions that you're noticing or feelings changing or settling or just staying the same? Just begin to bring some intentional breaths down into your hips. Noticing how they're feeling today. Just kind of this part that's seated, connected to the earth right now. Begin to set an intention for this short practice today. What is it that you need on an emotional level? Thinking about water, the ebbs and flows. What do you need to surf it or float on top? Whenever you're ready, Slowly and mindfully, we'll bring our feet to the top of the mat. And we'll begin with our feet tented onto the ground, just like our legs, a little tent shape. We'll slowly go down onto our backs, vertebrae by vertebrae. We'll keep our feet tented about hip width distance apart. And we'll begin to bring our right leg up and over on top of our left. So kind of making what we call like a figure 4 position. So this is a perfectly fine place to stay. Maybe you begin to feel that hip opener. If you want to go a little bit further, you can grab the back of your left thigh and bring this foot closer, making sure that our right foot is straight, not pointed. This protects our knees. Just beginning to bring some consciousness into this side of our body, into this hip space. Just being aware of any emotion coming up. This fluidity of water. Knowing that no matter what comes up, every feeling is temporary. We can work through it. We'll begin to place that left foot right back down. Then we're going to tee out our arms and slowly bring that right foot down to the left side for an easy twist. Maybe you stay here. If you want to grab your foot, you'll feel a little bit of an IT band stretch here. Maybe your gaze stays up. Maybe it goes over to the other side. Just continuing to breathe, and if at any point this becomes too much, feel free to come out of it. And on our next inhale, we'll bring our legs back to center. And we'll bring that right foot down to meet the left. Maybe bring both of our feet as wide as the mat. And just windshield wiper them from side to side. Just getting any kinks out of the lower back. Then we'll bring our feet back to center. This time we'll lift up our left leg and just cross it over our right for that figure 4 on the other side. And again, if you're already feeling this hip opener, you can stay here. Or maybe you grab the back of your right thigh and bring it a little bit closer, flexing that left foot. And breathing into your other hip. And just noticing what comes up. And then we'll bring that right foot back down to the ground. And we'll tee out our arms and bring that left foot down to the right side. And again, maybe we just stay here. Maybe we grab that foot for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Our gaze can stay straight forward, or it can gaze over to the left side. And on the next inhale, we'll bring that foot back up and have the left foot meet the right, bringing our legs the length width of the mat. And then slowly start to windshield wiper them again. On our next inhale, we'll bring our knees to our chest. We'll slowly start rocking backwards and forwards along our mat until we can come up to a comfortable seat. Maybe we roll over our knees and we come into
tabletop pose. So I'm going to show you two variations. So we're going to kind of move like a wave here today, just embodying that feeling of movement, of water. So you can do it on your tabletop. So what we'll do is we'll take an inhale to kind of come up into a little back bend, and then exhale, round the back and come back into child's pose. So we'll inhale, coming up to a back bend, and then exhale, rounding our back, chin to chest, into child's pose. So if this feels good, feel free to stay here. If you want a little bit more movement or strength, you can come up into downward dog. And then what you'll do is you'll inhale up into plank and then into a back bend, and then exhale up and back into downward dog. So inhale almost into, you can inhale into up dog if you want, untucking the toes, and then exhaling, lifting your hips up and back to downward dog. So wherever you are, making this wave shape is totally fine. Maybe you go in between the two. And just take two more at your own pace. And then we'll all meet either tabletop or downward facing dog. Maybe you start to pedal out your feet. And then we're just going to begin to meet our hands to our feet by walking our hands back. We'll meet in a forward fold, the back of the mat. Maybe we grab opposite elbows and just begin to sway side to side. Bring our hands down. We'll inhale, palms to shins for halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. We'll sweep our arms up overhead, palms touch. And exhale, hands to the heart. So we're going to do a little standing balance. Again, with that figure four shape. So just kind of play around with it and try to think of being a kid, playing in the water, like no matter what, if you fall out of it, just like being playful with it, not worrying too much about, oh, I need to stay perfectly in this pose, just breathing through it, and whatever happens, happens. So we'll begin to put all of our weight into our left foot. We'll slowly begin to lift our right foot up. And then we'll inhale it about 90 degrees and start to bring it on top of the left. And then we're going to sink down as if we're in chair pose. Maybe you want to come to a wall if you're having some trouble balancing, or maybe you just want to have fun with it and fall out of it. Do whatever you want to do. We'll just take 3 intentional breaths here. Whenever you're ready, we'll come back to stand. Maybe we shake out our legs. And this time we'll bring all of our weight into our right foot. Begin to bring our left foot up to about 90 degrees and cross it over our right. And again, sinking down for standing pigeon on the other side. If you really want to be playful, maybe you close your eyes for some breaths. We'll take 2 more right here. And then we'll inhale back up and exhale. We'll just bring our feet about hip width distance.
And just like we kind of started our first practice with the earth element, we're going to end our elements practice with the same thing. So just standing up straight, maybe bringing your shoulders all the way up and then tucking them back behind, a slight bend in your neck, just slightly gaze down. Maybe begin to bend your knees just a little bit, just rocking forward and backward, side to side, feeling all parts of your feet connecting with the earth. And begin to thank your body for taking you through all of these elements, learning more about yourself, your connection to earth, air, fire, and water. Connecting in these slower ways to your body, which can be really challenging. And no matter how hard the challenge, we're always able to work through it. Having that care and compassion for self. Whenever you're ready, you can bring your hands to heart center. I thank you all for joining us with these elements. And I hope that you learned a lot and got into your body. The light within me sees and honors the light within each one of you. Namaste.